there, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. And today I'll be sharing with you some secrets, hard secrets and tips that will take you from being that person to the person. Hang in there.
The TMTV, the Transforming Mindsets TV.
As usual, on a journey of becoming the best version of ourselves, a journey of becoming the fullness of who God created us to be. And in this episode, we are speaking on how to improve your self-confidence, your perception of yourself, how to overcome low self-esteem, and everything closely related. The importance of self-confidence, having a good perception of yourself, having a great self-esteem cannot even be overemphasized. We live in a world where people are very deceitful. That's why you see so many people say, it's okay, you can be shy, you can choose to be timid, you can continue in that lifestyle and all, but then you see the world all the time celebrating confident people. That's because even the blind knows that shyness and timidity will rob you of so much in life, so much in life. So let's take this practical example. List 5 people from your class. I'm sure the first 5 people that come to mind are the outgoing ones, the ones that put themselves all out, those ones that were not afraid to shine, they spoke, answered questions in class, they did everything, they were like everywhere, they were confident, they were there, they were out there and all of that. Those are the first people that come to mind. What happens to the shy ones, the timid ones, the ones that were quiet, that were like, oh, I'm not the talking type, I'm just the quiet type, I don't have strength to put myself out there, I don't want people to know me, and all that. What happens to them? They literally get forgotten, and that's a honest fact. You forget them by the way, because like, what did she really do? There are no people in this world that were sent to cajole anybody or be patient enough to say, oh, you're shy, all right, I want to give you an opportunity, try to be more confident and all. You have the sole duty, you have the sole responsibility to work on yourself, to become a better version of yourself, to be confident enough and not waste away in lack of self-confidence, in a bad perception of yourself or in low self-esteem. And don't worry, I got you. Now, the number one foundation of lack of self-confidence or a bad perception of yourself is your belief. Your belief about yourself and your belief in yourself. These beliefs stem from thoughts that we built over time about ourselves. That is why the very first thing to do when trying to build confidence and have a better perception of yourself is to conquer those belief systems that you built around your mind about yourself. Now, how do we do that? Self-reflection is the key. Self-reflection is very important. It's important that we sit back and then look inward to judge ourselves, to ask ourselves very important and deep questions. And this is not just in this aspect of life, generally in life. If you ever get to react in a certain way, if you ever get to behave in a certain way, it's very important for you to settle back and say, why did I act this way? How can I be better? How? Ask yourself very important and daring questions. Now, when building your self-confidence, self-reflection will be you looking inwardly to ask yourself, why do I feel this way about myself? Why do I really feel not confident enough in my beauty? I feel like I'm not beautiful enough, or not confident in my intelligence, like I'm not intelligent enough, not confident in my appearance, not confident in my talent. I feel like I'm not talented enough and all that. Like, really, why do you feel that way? And when you begin to look inwardly, you discover that it's either stemmed from something someone said at a certain point, probably when growing up, or lack of it even. You were never told, nobody said you were not smart enough, but nobody equally said you were smart. It could even stem from very terrible experiences, like being mocked at. You probably at certain points while growing up stood up to speak on something and everybody laughed and all of that. So like I said, your brain is like a box of a lot of thoughts. Somewhere they built up belief system which you are living by, which is controlling your life and which is giving you the products that you see in your life. Now, let me give you a practical example. Last year, after school and my call, I was looking for jobs and all of that. So I applied to so many firms, and I remember my first interview. The first interview I was opportune to have. The interviewer asked me a couple of questions, some from like things that I did years ago, and I couldn't particularly remember so clearly. And then he said to me, you seem like you are not particularly very smart. You only read to pass exam. You have great results, but you're not bringing out the products and all. Naturally, I felt very slighted, and of course, I defended myself. I remember telling him that I'm good at solving immediate tasks, and that's why I'm smart enough to know that as a student, I should actually focus on passing my exams. And now, as a worker, or if I'm given the job, I would also focus in delivering whatever task was given to me and all. The interview ended well. I was offered a job and all, but I noticed that every other interview I had was bad. Because although I may have defended myself, I may have convinced the interviewer that he was wrong and all of that, my brain and somewhere in my mind, that thing that was said was wrapped around. So I felt like every other interviewer would feel that way. Like they're probably not saying it. Somewhere in their hearts, they feel exactly the same way he did. I'm so sorry, guys. You notice a change in the lighting. Power went off. I'm so ashamed of my country right now, but it really all depends on the perception, the mindset around it. Back to what we're discussing. Our thoughts are very powerful. Who you are is as a direct result of all your thoughts over the years. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Not so he will be, or so whatever. That's how you are. So your thoughts, if your thoughts are continuously negative towards yourself, the fact that you are not good enough, you are limited in this aspect, you are this, you are that, then that's how you would be. Now we are talking self-reflection in building self-confidence. Another way to reflect on yourself to help build your confidence is ask yourself this question: who are you? Like, who would you say you are? Write them down, the positive and negative, or you say it out. Then you look at those negative things and then ask yourself, like we said, why do I have this negative perception of myself? Why do I see myself in this light? You go back and then you realize that, oh, probably somebody said this to you and all of that. Then you ask yourself another question: do I let this person's statement control my life forever? Am I to live according to words people who do not know me, people who have a distorted version of me, people who did not even create me, people who are literally just secondary characters in my story, think that I am? Especially when God, your creator and the only perfect being in the entire world, says something different concerning you. I think there was this story I once heard of one Victor Cerebraco or whatever, please pardon me, and that at 15 his teacher told him he wasn't smart enough, so he would never finish college and all of that, and he went off going off as a loser again and again because of course he had a distorted perception of who he was. And then in his 30s there was an IQ test, and then he was ranked as one of the most intelligent people in the world. Immediately he heard that, his confidence, he had a confidence boost, and then he became really successful. That was a clear example to tell you that things that people say about you, they're just lies. They really don't know you well enough, and they're just, they don't matter. Their thoughts, their words, their affirmation or lack of it does not matter. You are who you are. It's more like, I'm a dark girl. You perceive that I'm white. Does that change the fact I'm black? It remains constant. That's who you are. So don't let it get to you. We've established the fact that our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts create our belief systems, and our belief is the reason why we feel less confident about ourselves, or we have a distorted perception of ourselves, right? The next big question will be, how do we control our thoughts such that we begin to have good thoughts, we begin to build good belief systems, and then we begin to see the outputs of being more confident and being more having a better perception of ourselves, and then conquering low self-esteem. The very first hack that I'll give about building on how to build positive thoughts around yourself and overcome all those negative thoughts, because it's proven that negative thoughts are easier to come by. You don't even need to stress. It's easier to believe you are not good enough. It's easier to believe you are a failure than it is to actually believe that you are strong, that you are beautiful, you are powerful, you are great and all. That's why it must be a deliberate thing. So begin to say things to yourself. You see, self-reflection comes in here too. So you'd try to bring out those limitations you've set for yourself, that, oh, I don't speak well in public places, and then start to speak that, oh, I speak well in public places. Own it, come by it. Those things, those belief systems that you've allowed to rule over your mind are the reason why you are where you are, or you are how you are at this point. So stop dwelling on them. Stop dwelling on them. Stop saying it. Keep saying the opposite. Keep thinking the opposite, and you see yourself building belief systems around it. So all those ones say, "Oh, I'm good, but I'm just shy around public places. Oh, I'm good, but I don't just like to, put myself out there. I don't." Begin to think the opposite of those things, and that's why music, because of how powerful thoughts are, the type of music we listen to is also very important. So become more picky with the things you consume. You let your mind consume the kind of music you listen to. You don't listen to depressing music that tells you your life is so bad that you say, oh, it's relatable, and then you pity yourself and you dwell in self-pity. Stop that and begin to listen to more empowering songs. Personally, one of the songs I find very empowering is Unstoppable by Sia, and I think of it, I'm like, I'm unstoppable. I don't even need batteries to run. That's how powerful I am. Like, how can I be weak? How can I be timid? How can I be sad? How can I dwell in all of this? I have to comfort, because this is who I am. I'm unstoppable. Or I listen to Like You that say, oh, there is nobody like you. There's nobody like you on earth. So, shine bright. These things just help me hack that belief system, and that every time when I feel like, oh, I'm not so good at this thing, this is not my thing, this is not, I try to immediately rebuke it from my heart, rebuke it from my thoughts, and say, oh, because as a man thinketh, that's how he is. So I refuse to think that I am not good enough. I refuse to think that I can't do this. I refuse to think that this or that, because the moment I start thinking it, that's who I become. Another hack that I could give to help you boost your self-confidence, especially if it's as it relates to your physical appearance and all, is if it's something workable, you could work on it. But if not, downplay it. Do you really want to be remembered for beauty? Like, I don't want to be remembered just because I'm beautiful and all of that. Beauty is not as important as it seems. There are so many powerful people, there are so many great people that are not particularly according to world standard or according to whoever standard. Not mine anyway, everybody's beautiful. According to the societal standards, they are not particularly so beautiful, but they are successful. They are one of the nation builders and all of that. So you're being facially beautiful or physically perfect. It's not everything. It's not all of it. But you're beautiful anyway. Everyone is beautiful. So just downplay this whole beauty thing. It's not such a big deal like the whole world seems to want to make it, because at the end of the day we die and then we become bones, we go down 6 feet. People don't remember all of those things and then sit back and say, oh, she was so beautiful, she was so, at least not for a very long time, but they remember you for your confidence to release your potentials and become the best version of who you are. Either way, love yourself, appreciate yourself. This is who you are. We are all different flavors that make the meal palatable at the end of the day. Another hack I would also want to give is learning to build your belief system and control your thoughts into believing that you don't care about what people think. You don't care about what they think or do not think. So with that, you feel free, you feel more confident, you feel more, you release yourself more freely, because I don't care. Finally, please take the lead over your life. Take the steering wheel over your life. Don't let these experiences determine the rest of your life, or words that was said to you and people's perception or anything determine the rest of your life. You have just one life to live, and you cannot risk living it being a passerby. You cannot risk being that student that nobody can remember. You cannot risk being that worker that is easily pushed off because, of course, you don't even remember she's there. You cannot risk going through life like that. So rise, shine bright, control your thought patterns. As a man thinketh, as you think, that's who you are. So stop to think those negative thoughts. Stop to refuse those limitations. Refuse them from your heart. I refuse to think that there is anything I cannot do. I refuse to think that I will not succeed, because I have succeeded already. I am succeeding. I'm a success. Everything I do, and that's one thing that has helped me in life. I tell people this. As long as I do it, successful, honestly, I don't fail. I really literally do not fail. I don't fail. It's not everything I want to do, I succeed in life. I succeed in doing it. And you see that once you begin to think of these things, you begin to become more confident in it. And thank you guys so much. This family is growing so much. Like, I literally wake up every day to new subscribers. Not a single day has passed without a notification for a new subscriber. So I'm so grateful. Thank you for sticking with me. We have more things coming up. Just hang in there. Hang in there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on your notification button. Thank you very much for this episode. I hope to see you being more confident in yourself next time.